Hello, Red Group. It is NTIDay22 and it is Thursday. We are on our geometry unit. We started our geometry unit with partitioning the shape, and then we went into identifying different shapes. We looked at yesterday some 2D shapes as well as some 3D shapes, and now today we are going to look at types of angles. Okay, so I think that this will help us start identifying angles in different shapes and being able to identify different shapes based on their angles. So let's get started. Before we can look at types of shapes, types of angles, what is an angle? Well, you need to know that an angle is measured in degrees, okay, like temperature. Temperature is measured in degrees, and it is the space between two straight lines. And it's where two straight lines meet, and where they meet is called the vertex. But the lines that they instead of calling them lines, the fancy term for that is called a segment or segments. So the lines that come together are called segments, and the point that they meet at is called the vertex. So we know that we are classifying different angles and we measure different angles in degrees. So let's look at some different types of angles. The first type of angle that we're going to look at is a right angle. Now, I went ahead and I drew some different examples in here, and I drew them all different ways because a lot of times the standard way that we see a right angle is right here, but it can throw us off whenever we see angles like this, this, and this. Whenever you draw a right angle, you usually put a box in the corner to indicate that it is a perfect 90 degrees. So right angles are always measured in 90 degrees. Now, in fourth grade, you'll get to use what's called a protractor to measure different angles, and you'll really get to look at those in different shapes. And sadly, we're not in person where we can really get out a protractor and do that, but we're going to have to use our imagination. Okay, so perfectly coming together like the corner of a square or even the corner of our house, you can see at the top right here that they meet together perfectly, and that equals a 90 degrees, or a window, the corner of a window, that is a right angle. Okay, I also think about it as a clock when I think about angles, and I know that we have looked at time a lot this year, so this is kind of a way of reviewing that. A time that I can think of that has a right angle is 3 o'clock, okay, because it's on the 3 and it's on the 12. So that would be a right angle. Another time that I can think of that is a right angle is when it is 9 o'clock. So it's on the 9 and the 12, and there's a perfect 90 degrees right there. Okay, so let's move on to the next angle, and that is a straight angle. Now, a straight angle is really simple, and it is pretty self-explanatory. It goes straight across, and it is 180 degrees. Well, you know that 90 times 2 equals 180. So you know that two right angles together equals a straight angle. It goes straight across. And you know, whenever we were going over our homework and I said that there was that song that's did a full 180, and it's where you spin around, and I said it's completely going the opposite way. That's like this. It's 180 degrees. It's a straight angle. Go from here to here. It's also known, some people might refer to it as a flat angle. A time on the clock that I can think of that has a straight angle could be 3:45 or 9:15. It could also be 6 o'clock. It's down here on the 6 and the 12. So it's just a straight line, straight angle. I feel like that one's pretty simple and pretty easy to remember. It's your biggest angle that we're going to look at today. All right, next angle is called an acute angle, and the name gives it away. This is how I remember it. Oh, it's so cute. An acute angle is tiny, it's small. Okay, it's less than 90 degrees. It's less than a right angle. So a right angle is like this. It's like a corner. Okay, it is even less than that. So if I look at these different angles, here would be my 90 degrees. Look, it's a lot less than 90 degrees. So you need to know that an acute angle is the smallest angle. It's less than 90. It's less than a right angle. And you can think about it because it is so cute. And the last angle we're going to look at is called an obtuse angle. it has more than 90 degrees, but it's less than 180. So it's not necessarily a straight line, but it's not more than 90. Okay, so it's got to fall somewhere in that category. Not completely straight across, but not to where it's perfectly up and down. So all that. So I drew some examples and I drew them all different ways. I'm sure you can come up with plenty of times that would be an obtuse angle. One that would come to my mind would be probably like 350. So it'd be on the 10 and the 3. Same goes if it was 1015. That would be an obtuse angle because it's more than 90. And I know this because 90 degrees would be at the 12. Okay. Obtuse angle, an easy way to remember that, kind of like acute is really tiny. Obtuse kind of sounds like obese, and obese is big. So think about an obtuse angle is a big angle. So let's go ahead and let's review what we've gone over so far today. We've reviewed right angles. Right angles are 90 degrees. They're like the corners of a square, corners of a rectangle. We even talk about 90-degree angles and rectangles and squares. They're found all around your house, in the corner of the door, in the corner of the wall, in the corner of your window. They're a corner. Straight angles, they're just a straight line. They're also known as flat angles. They're 180 degrees. Acute angles, they're so cute and so little. They're less than 90 degrees. And then obtuse angles is between 90 and 180 degrees. Obtuse, think about obese. It is big. All right, that's all that I have for you guys today on Thursday. So what I want you to do is complete a lesson on Zern. So you should be on Zern lesson 2. Then I want you to watch this video and answer questions on Edpuzzle. And then I have a Google Forms for you to take to show me that you understand what's being taught.